Make holiday gifting easy with Pura's Black Friday sale. Take up to 30% off site-wide, including curated gift sets, diffusers for home and car, and single scents that make perfect stocking stuffers. For a limited time at Pura.com.
We spend a third of our lives in bed, so why settle for ordinary sheets? Miracle Made sheets use NASA-inspired, silver-infused fabric to keep you cool, clean, and comfortable all night long. The silver naturally fights bacteria, so your sheets stay fresher up to 3 times longer. That means fewer washes, clearer skin, and better sleep. They're soft, breathable, and built to last, an affordable luxury that actually delivers. It's not magic. It's science, inspired by innovation, designed for everyday life. Because sometimes the simplest upgrades make the biggest difference. This Christmas, upgrade your sleep or give the gift of better rest. Go to trymiracle.com/clean to try Miracle Made sheets today. You'll save over 40%, and when you use promo code CLEAN, you'll get an extra 20% off plus a free 3-piece towel set.
The kettle's boiled, Vic.
Great. Perfect timing. Just a dash of milk for me, please, mate.
Here you go. Shall we get started then?
Have you ever woken up on a Sunday morning and said, I'm never drinking again, and then found yourself waving $50 at a barman by happy hour?
Are you wondering why everyone else can stop at 1 while you head to a dodgy after-party with a weird bloke called Disco Dave? If so, it might be time to take a deeper look at your relationship with your reliable social crutch, alcohol.
On each episode, we'll investigate our own dysfunctional dealings with booze and find out if it's possible to stop this deeply ingrained habit before things get too messy.
Yep, we're going to open up a shame shed of humiliating drinking stories to help you understand why waking up from a booze coma each weekend with a kebab sticking out of your top pocket might actually be negatively impacting your health.
Hamish and I are here to delve into what it's like being sober, an unwanted warts and all look into why giving up those cheeky pints or putting down those mummy wines will make you feel happier, help your anxiety and mental health, and turn you into the most sparkly, authentic version of you.
Won't that mean I become boring though, Vic?
Well, Hamish, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm Victoria Vanstone.
I'm Hamish Adams-Cairns.
And this is Sober Awkward. Right, Hamish, it's all about the sexy time. How are you feeling about this episode? Did you run it past Liz like I asked you to?
No, I did not run it past Liz. I thought what is important is our listeners getting this message.
Right.
Liz is not a listener, therefore listeners over wife in today's scenario. I also kind of know how this is going to go. We covered this topic briefly when we did our 30-day sober tour guide videos, and it felt exactly like we knew it would. It's 2 sober British friends discussing sex. So it was weird, it was awkward, it was uncomfortable, we were giggly and childish as expected. So I am fully prepared for today being precisely the same as that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Before we begin, I think we need to have a quick heads up. Today's episode is certainly going to include some talk about sexy time, downstairs body parts, and awkward experiences involving bums. That may not be for everyone, especially children. There's going to be a little bit of graphic detail, but not too much because we are British, of course. But if this topic brings up any sort of discomfort or bad memories, please skip this one and listen when you're ready. I don't think it's going to be too bad, just a bit of general botty talk and fanny talk.
Yeah, and which is kind of like every episode.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I do.
So.
I do. I don't really know. I put that in. Everybody knows that's what they're getting, even if it's about dopamine or about sober relationships or about the sugar or anything. Or yes, it's always generally body related. So people know what they're getting by now, don't they, Haim?
So this episode is just hyper-focused on the immature bits that we find funniest, sprinkled into all the other episodes, basically.
Yes, exactly.
Good. So this week we're talking about something that makes both of us deeply uncomfortable, which is sex. Now, I should clarify, it is the talking about sex that makes me uncomfortable, not the actual act. Sex itself does not make me that uncomfortable, except that is when I'm strung up by my heels in our sex swing.
Oh, yes, with your rubber gloves on.
Then, yeah, dressed up as the naughty duck. Yeah. So that is the only time it can be a bit, if I've not done my stretches and my vocal warm-ups, then I can be uncomfortable. But otherwise, I'm generally okay.
Okay.
But I do want you all to brace yourselves for two middle-aged British prudes talking about the act of love for about 45 minutes. Or as my grandmother would call it, having a bit of a naughty cuddle under the duvet.
Oh, that's very sweet, Hamish. Better than visiting the Bone Zone, playing hide the sausage, or indeed paddling up the big pink canoe. Anyway, your horny dead grandmother aside, I was just going to have...
Well, hang on. Let's just pause there for a second.
Yeah.
Your horny dead grandmother aside, I feel like... You're so far beyond the line now. There is such a thing as being too comfortable amongst friends.
Yeah, okay.
And to feel that it is okay to broadcast the sentence, your horny, dead, I didn't even tell you she's dead, she is dead grandmother aside. Okay, I just want to pause on that for a second. And I want to encourage you, after this episode, to have a long, hard think about who you are and what you've just said.
The funny thing is, Hamish, is I did have a hard, long think about that line before the episode. I actually walked into the lounge and said to John, he was just watching telly with George, and said, is saying my horny dead grandmother aside, is that a bit much? He was like, yeah, that's a bit much, take it out. And then I sent it to you, because I always send Hamish the script, like what we're going to be talking about. We always like to have a bit of structure, don't we, Ham? And I thought, gosh, is he going to take this out? I think I'm going to leave it in just to see how Hamish goes with it and see what your reaction is. So, yeah, sorry about that. I probably should have.
See, there are certain lines that you are more lenient to not edit out, some that I am.
Yes.
I like the fact we're both in agreement that your horny dead grandmother, that stays in. That makes the cut.
Yeah, that's staying in. That's good writing right there.
That's the line, though. That is the absolute, as far as we can push it, before someone gets highly offended. Really, I'm the only one who should be offended by that line. Mm-hmm. But if for some reason you are offended by that line, I appreciate you taking offence on my behalf. Yes. But I'm all right with it. We've green-lighted it. It stays.
We've green-lighted it. It's fine. Yeah. Anyway, we've tackled booze, anxiety, shame, and even bowel movements on this podcast, but somehow this feels a little bit worse. I mean, you know us, we love an awkward conversation, and this one's been brewing quite literally for a while.
How's it literally been brewing for a while?
Literally, well, because it's related to Brewers Droop.
Okay, yeah, which is a metaphorical.
Yeah, it was cleverer than your brain, basically. That little part.
What it is it's you using the term literally like a teenage girl.
Yes.
Or boy.
Yes.
Even when it's not literally, this has not been literally brewing for a while. You're spent too long around your own teenage son.
Yes.
That's what's going on here.
Yeah, so I'm doing this thing at the moment where I'm saying 6, 7 and mewing and bra and man a lot just to annoy him. It makes him so embarrassed, me saying teenage words, that it's like just become a thing because it's an easy way to annoy him. And yeah, he's...
What's 6, 7?
Oh, Hamish, are you joking? What's 6, 7?
Vic, my eldest child is 3.
Okay.
I'm not down the lingo.
Oh, 6, 7. It comes from some basketball slang, some guy who's 6'7" or something, and a rap song. And now, at any opportunity, even at school, if they're doing counting, 6, 7 obviously comes after 6, so it comes up quite a lot in class. All the kids are going 6, 7, 6, 7. It's just a really annoying saying that's going on. It's going crazy at the moment. So yeah, you don't need to know about it, Hamish. You'll know about 6, 7 one day. It'll probably be 4, 5, 6 next time for you later on in a few years' time. But at the moment, 6, 7 is the word. Okay, I have no idea why.
Okay, so it doesn't really mean anything at all. It's just two numbers next to each other.
It's just two numbers next to each other that come up all the time. And now, anytime anyone says 6, 7, you go 6, 7. It's fucking pointless. Yeah, carry on.
We are missing out.
Here we are.
Okay, so Brewers Droop. We're going to talk about exactly what that means. So loosen up, keep your trousers on, and muff dive right into the helm. I realise you've written a podcast here with as many childish Willy and Fanny jokes as humanly possible.
Yep.
Including muff dive right in.
Yep.
Which is I've not said the word muff dive since I was about 14.
Well, we'll start using it again, Hamish. 6'7" muff dive.
Yeah.
You can add it to the lingo.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you're correct, my little rumpy pumpy lacking friend. I'm going to stuff you full of puns, vulgarity and titillation just because that's the theme of the day. Have you bought any protection?
Yes. Let me emphasize the fact that I am wearing a condom for the entirety of this episode. I do hope that comes across.
Why?
Because you wanted protection.
Yeah,
and
I
that
know,
is
but
protection.
No, but I didn't mean for you to wear a condom.
Yes.
That is just completely
I'm
odd.
in a condom, flaccid, at home by myself.
Okay, move on. I was going to say you
Okay.
innocent, sweet man-child there, but I'm not sure that I can. But I must tell you very quickly about
Go
that.
on.
That is just like the oddest thing I've ever heard. I met a lady the other day at my sober meetup she sat down and she said, "Oh my God, I've been listening to your podcast. I listen every day. I'm 200 days sober." And the first thing she said was, "Oh my God, I am so in love with Hamish's parents."
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Usually it's John that gets the
No,
love. How
no,
have
it
my
was the
parents
first time ever.
been?
She's like, "Oh my God, Hamish's parents, they're like the best parents, the most loving, most brilliant parents I've ever heard of in my whole life." She's like, "I'm so in love with them. They're my favourite parents of all time."
Oh, wow.
It was so
okay.
sweet.
I
Yes.
will absolutely let them know.
Yes.
I've clearly done a good job in bigging them up in previous episodes.
Yeah, they
I don't
have
remember talking about my parents that much, but
No,
okay,
whenever you
good. I'll be
do,
thrilled.
it's like we're comparing because my parents are the complete opposite. Because yours, I mean, they're just very opposite. That's all we'll say. I don't need to go into why, but yes, big drinkers
because that would
versus
imply that
non-drinkers.
listener hates your parents.
Yeah.
That might be. We don't want to put words in her mouth.
No, let's not imply that because my mum listens.
Okay, good. So, Vic, why are we talking about sex and specifically sober sex?
Oh, well, because you lot out there won't stop bringing it up. It comes up all the time on Cuppa and in all of our groups. People saying it feels different. Sex is weird. It's like learning to walk again, but naked, if you know what I mean.
Right. It's one of those big sober milestones. And if our lovely community is talking about it, then we have to as well. That's basically what we're here to do. We're here to have the awkward conversations so you don't have to.
Yep. All right, let's start with the good bits, or what we thought were the good bits, Hamish.
Okay, so back in the day when we thought booze made us sexy, confident, even magnetic, maybe, that's what we want to talk about. So, Vic, how did booze make you feel during those early days?
Yeah, sexy-wise.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, not in terms of anything else.
Okay.
Purely sexy-wise.
Okay. I mean, I think there were good bits. It certainly gave me a false confidence, like a fake swagger that makes you think everyone fancies you. Can you hear that bloody bird outside?
Yeah, you sound like you're recording this from a rainforest.
I had less fear of rejection when I was under the influence and the thrill of chaos. I loved thinking anything could happen sexually, the risk involved. I mean, that's fucked up in itself. I liked the feeling of being free and sexually independent, in charge of my body and my choices. Looking back, of course, I realised I wasn't in charge at all. No. I think I was a bit of a late bloomer when it came to sex. I didn't lose my virginity until I was about 17, and that was with a long-term boyfriend. But until that point, there'd been lots of fiddling and rubbing going on in parks and on park benches.
There's the British in her coming out. Oh, there was plenty of fiddling,
coin rubbing,
fiddling and rubbing going on.
Yeah, I think after a few pints and when I was single, it was like there was a free ticket to my downstairs disco. Alcohol turned me from a shy introvert to a kind of raving hornbag. I didn't want to have sex at all before my first drink. And then by the end of the night, especially in my 20s, I was scouring the dance floor for any leftover ruffians to drag home with me for some fun under the duvets. All my mates were sleeping around, so I did too. My drunken fumbles gave me good stories, but deep down, I'll be honest with you, I never actually really enjoyed it. It was just sloppy and quick and unsexy and quite unsavoury, I will say, Hamish. I know I did things that I would never have done if I had not been trolleyed. I did a lot of weird shit in bed with people I hardly knew when I was totally wasted. Things that I would never do now and things that I would never do again and would certainly not do sober. So that's the weird point. Alcohol made me promiscuous and overconfident in bed, but it was all show, pretending to be something I most certainly was not. I had no interest in sex when I was sober. The next morning, as I probably scribbled a fake phone number on a beer mat, I was very embarrassed, very self-conscious, and felt like I'd acted like someone I did not know. It just wasn't me. It was kind of a juiced up idiot doing what she thought was normal and what her mates were doing. Booze, I think, made me turn into someone I was not, someone who pretended to enjoy testing the mattress springs, as it were. It turned a nice, polite young lady into, well, a bit of a goer, Haim. I didn't quite reach local bike status. I think that went to big-titted Tina that lived down the road. But I certainly gave everybody a good go when I was young. And that wasn't who... I know, I sound like a right old slag, but... it wasn't me. It wasn't who I was. And that's what booze does. It turned me into somebody I wasn't a lot of the time. Can you tell me how booze made you feel sexually, Hamish, in that downstairs undercarriage area?
Snogging girls, I guess I was okay at. One night stands, not quite as prolific as you were. But with that being said, alcohol was a turn on for me. Ironically, I was not attracted to drunk girls, which is certainly unfair or somehow gender unequal. You know, that was, I'm sure that somehow
yes,
it feels like it would be cancelable.
So they were allowed to fancy you.
I expected them to fancy me.
The drunk girls were allowed to fancy you, but you didn't fancy.
I expected them to fancy me because I was feeling confident and sexy. But if they were drunk, I wasn't interested. But if they were sober, there's no way they'd have been attracted to me drunk. So probably a lot of the reason that it really happened for me. There was certainly a period, I guess, in my 20s, I was sort of a relationship guy, but in between relationships in my 20s, where the only point of going out was to drink the amount that would make me feel flirty and have no inhibitions and confident enough to go up to a group of girls and ideally hook up with someone. That was really the purpose of going out, was to see if we could hook up with someone. That was the game that we were playing. Now, as I said, I was a relationship guy. There's not a big period in my life when I wasn't in relationships from the age of about 21 onwards. So I wasn't really someone who went on dates as much. You know, that wasn't really my thing. But when you're in your teens or even early 20s, I would say most of the sex that I was having, even when I was in a relationship, was drunk sex. And I wonder whether or not there's something in the fact that when you're in your teenage years or your early 20s, that maybe the level of intimacy that is required during sex might be just a little bit too much to even want to try sober. I think there might be something in that. Felt, I can only speak for myself, but maybe I needed to slightly take the edge off the intimacy of it by at least being tiddly. You reckon?
Well, I totally agree with you, because you go from being in a pub to then being at someone's house and having to talk about protection and things like that, and being all over each other and slobbering on each other and exchanging various fluids. I do think you certainly need a bit of a confidence boost in those situations, especially if you're nervous or don't like showing your body in front of people. It's incredible how I could have never have done that without a drink in my body, I don't think, at an early age. I just didn't have the confidence to do that. So I totally agree with you that not only it made us both hornier, even though we're probably not the most horny of people, and especially because you're just a little wooden boy, and little wooden boys don't behave in that way. But it also allowed us to actually have sex.
Yes. Well, on I do think it seems easier to coordinate you and someone else both feeling horny at the same time if alcohol and drugs are involved.
Otherwise, it's just one, really.
Yes.
You know, it's this thing we do. It's rebellious,
Yeah.
and it's naughty, and the fuck it button has very much been hit, and you feel sexy, and you feel explorative in a way that you probably never did without booze. So there's sort of this
Yep.
feeling in a nightclub of drunk people of like, let's just get naked and make some questionable decisions. That was not a million miles away. Do I actually remember any of those drunken shags? Really, honestly, hardly any at all. Like I have quite clear memories of the mornings after, you know, sort of the awkwardness, but not a lot of memories of the actual dirty deed. I think that like the very idea of trying to chat someone up or even like ask for a number or lean in for a kiss, which is something that I was awful at, seemed impossible without booze. And in a way, here's the great tragedy of it. If I had been single today, I would have been so much better at all of that. Like with the years of experience and like genuine confidence and like a better understanding of who you are, I would be good at doing all that stuff now. But I was appalling for really all of the years that I even tried to do it.
I agree. And I think we've missed out on a certain level of training, sex training, I think. Like, and that's when you get sober and you're like, right, I really don't know what I'm doing anymore because I've only ever had sex drunk and that was easy and fine and I felt confident. And now here I am and I have no idea what I'm doing. And I have had no training in this. It's like starting a new job, isn't it? It's like being thrown in the deep end, as it were, and just being like, oh my God, I'm fumbling my way through this.
I understand it's incredibly difficult when none of us have ever done it ever sober, and suddenly you're learning this new skill and it's scary and that feels like the lights are on, all that sort of stuff. But I do feel like if you've been sober for a period of time, I guess I don't know what that period of time would be, maybe longer than a year, you do have a certain level of confidence and understanding of yourself that would be attractive to whoever it is you're trying to chat up or go on a date with, because you're sort of, I don't know, you're a more rounded person, I suppose. So I think a lot of the fears we could perhaps flip on their head and be like, actually, I'm in a good place to date someone and to be sexually intimate with someone because I'm not just a drunken mess anymore.
Yeah. And I think sobriety can give you that extra boost of sexual desire because you do like yourself a bit more. Whereas before, I think my sexual activities were more like me giving myself away to someone. Whereas now I'm so much more in control. It's up to me what I do and it's up to me what decisions I make. Whereas before it was just me abandoning my body, abandoning my mind and just letting what happened happen, which usually wasn't very nice. And I think you're totally right. It does perhaps make you more attractive and feel more sexy. I totally agree. Probably more than a year into your sobriety when you really feel like you know yourself now. And that can be an attractive thing in itself. So when you're going out, you probably feel more attractive and more sexual without the alcohol inside your body because you're much more present with it, I think.
It's difficult to feel sexy sober. I reckon that is the reason people write to us.
Yeah.
Is it's difficult to feel sexy sober.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. And I don't know whether that's just us, Hamish, but yeah, I totally agree. I think that's totally the reason I still find it difficult. I find it difficult to talk to my husband about, like, my husband could have sex all day, every day. Like, that is who he is. He's just rampant for it, right? So I have to tell you, like, we'll go into a little bit later, but like that scale of sexy time and sexiness, I'm just not on that same plane as him. So that can cause issues in itself. And perhaps I would have been, or perhaps I have been in the past. So that's probably quite confusing for him because he married someone who'd, after a few glasses of wine, was happy to have sex once every other day, probably. And now I'm not that person anymore. And that's probably a little bit hard for him, I should imagine. But anyway, I do think alcohol numbs everything, including sensation. Half the time, like you, Hamish, I was too drunk to feel anything, let alone passion. It was like trying to post a letter through the wrong slot, if you know what I mean. Let's list some boozy, unsexy fails. Before we get into the nitty-gritty and help everybody, let's go through some of the more ridiculous and horrifying sexual experiences that we had.
Sounds like fun. I'm glad we've included this bit where we can overshare our horrific
low lights of our sexual experiences.
Well, that's really what anyone wants. But we do this for the greater good, don't we, Hamish? Because we hope by doing this that people have done these things too and aren't just sitting with their mouth agape in the car going, these two are completely
or you can just
mental.
laugh at us for the next few minutes.
Yes.
It might brighten up your day.
Yeah, because we're not there.
So what we're going to do...
Yeah, if you laugh
I will read some of my own. You will read some of your own. We will read each other's. We will not reveal whose is whose. So there's some anonymity, hard word to say. But I imagine
perfect.
The listener will be able to sort of guess fairly accurately whose is whose.
I didn't. Somebody I know threw a dildo into a farmer's field. I've just got to tell you this story quickly. I was going out with this awful guy, and I think he'd bought me a dildo because he didn't want to have sex with me. So he thought it'd be easier to just buy me a dildo so he didn't have to deal with me anymore. And I was kind of offended by it because that's really not my cup of tea anyway. And we finished, and for ages, I was living with my parents at the time, and I didn't want it in their house, so I hid it under the seat of my car. So I was driving around, I was living in France with this bloody dildo under my car seat for ages. And then one day I just had enough of it, just thinking that it was there underneath me all the time. And I stopped the car and I pulled over in a fit of anger, and I hurled this thing as far as I could into a farmer's field. I probably blocked up a combine harvester, quite honestly, because this thing was horrendous. It was huge.
Was
and
it rolling around? Like if you went round a roundabout, did it sort of roll its way around the bottom of the car?
I could hear it. Yeah, I could hear it going from side to side. Yeah, it was this horrible, horrible looking thing. It scared me, quite honestly. So yeah, somebody I know lobbed a dildo into a farmer's field once. I mean, that's not really related to our sober sex life.
I like the idea of the farmer going out, like, picking potatoes and there being a big dildo out there.
Yeah. Little French farmer on his own. He would have got a right shock, wouldn't he? Ooh la la, he would have said.
I will continue the list. Falling asleep mid-sex.
Okay, yeah. I think that's probably you.
No comment.
It's not me. No, so I know I can work it out.
That's not the game. You know whose is whose because you wrote half of them.
Okay, yeah. I won't reveal any more. Being sick down the side of the bed after kissing a man or woman with wooden teeth. Now everybody knows that story. I've told it on here a few times. It's not me, Hamish, but I did kiss a Romanian with wooden teeth once. And then was sick, and he also looked me in the eye and went, I love you, Christina. I said, I'm not fucking Christina. Did you
throw up because they were wooden? Or it was irrelevant of the...
No, it's just because I was fucking hammered and done loads of shots. Yeah, wasn't so much the teeth.
Okay, this one's a bit graphic. No. Waking up and thinking, who the hell are you and whose blood is this? Yep.
Oh, God. Okay, waking up in a bush and watching a dog eating my vomit after running away from a ski instructor with a massive knob. I hope that wasn't you, Hamish.
One of my favourite stories. Was that all one story? I can remember you telling me the dog vomit story. I can remember you running away from a ski instructor with a big knob. I didn't realise that was the same day.
Yeah, it was a good day. It was a good day. Had a limp for a week after that one.
Oh, no. Being caught having sex in a bush by a priest.
Yes, classic. Telling a person that they had done a wee in the bed when it was me. Not much to say about that one.
And that's definitely you, isn't it? That we can all
No, that's not me.
Okay.
It's somebody. No, it was my sister. I'm going to pin these on other people.
I've got a friend of a friend who did that. Is that where we go? Is that how you're trying to hide the truth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where we go. Yeah, go on. Tell me about one of your friends.
Trying and failing to get it up and trying to explain that it's just because I'm tired, not anything else.
Yeah. I'm guessing that one is you again, quite honestly, because I haven't got anything to get
true.
up.
There's not
really,
a lot.
Have I? No.
I would also like to add having more sex with the space between her leg and the bench under her than with her. That was my virginity. Well, I thought it was my virginity. God. I guess it was, in a way, the time before my virginity. Just speaking for a friend, it was the space between her leg and the bench underneath her. Is that upper thigh? I guess almost like the sort of lower, like underneath the thigh, really, isn't it? No, not a coffee table. It's in a barn.
Hey guys, I'm Patrick Schwarzenegger, the founder of Mosh, which is a protein bar made specifically for your brain. Our bars are not only nutritious, but they are absolutely delicious, and they are loaded with up to 13 grams of protein, only 3 grams of sugar, and amazing ingredients that support a healthy brain like lion's mane, ashwagandha, vitamin B12, vitamin D3, and so much more. But the best part is, Every time you purchase one of our bars, we donate to Alzheimer's research. So if you want to find ways to give back to others and fuel your body and your brain, Mosh bars are the perfect choice for you.
Head to moshlife.com/pod20 to get 20% off plus free shipping on the Bestsellers Trial Pack or the new Plant-Based Trial Pack. That's 20% off plus free shipping on either the Bestsellers Trial Pack or the Plant-Based Trial Pack at moshlife.com/pod20.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Oh, okay. It was in a barn. Right. That's very funny, Hamish. Funny because it's true.
How about another
Anyway.
one, which could be relevant for both of us, faking all orgasms so the show can end a little bit sooner.
Yes. I mean, I think women are probably more prone to doing that than men because they don't need to go on that long, do they? But yes, I have certainly done that, Hamish. I will admit to that. I think most women have, especially if you kind of wake up mid-blackout and realise that you're shagging Dave that works down the local chip shop. You know what I mean?
So
I think
you wake
you do,
up
don't you?
mid-blackout, quick fake orgasm, and tell Dave to go home.
Yeah, but leave a Savaloy on the counter for me later. We move on. It's quite fun. I think we could probably go on a bit there about our very disgraceful friends of ours, couldn't we? Aren't they an awful
friends
lot?
and sister and brother.
You touched on Brewers Droop there, Hamish, quite literally.
Brewers Droop is the charming term for the alcohol-induced erectile dysfunction. Basically, booze relaxes the muscles, including the ones needed for a performance. It messes with blood flows, lowers testosterone, and numbs your nerve endings. So while your brain thinks, let's get frisky, your body's like, mate, I can't even stand up.
Yes. And incredibly, I have found out this week that it's not just a male problem. For women, alcohol reduces natural lubrication, dulls sensitivity, and makes it harder to reach orgasm. Basically, you can't feel much physically or emotionally. Exactly what I said. Sex for me was pointless back in the day. No satisfaction at all. Just a sort of transaction of bodily fluids so that I felt kind of pretty enough to shag. That is terrible to say. That's not a good reason to do anything to make you feel pretty, but I think there was an element to it, Haim. Knowing that I was good enough for someone to take home at the end of the night was enough for me back in the day.
Isn't it?
Terrible.
Around 70% of men who drink heavily experience some form of sexual dysfunction. Long-term heavy drinking can cause lasting issues with libido, hormones, and nerve health. And alcohol lowers testosterone and raises cortisol, which is the stress hormone, which is a one-way ticket to not tonight, darling, or a tiny little not standing up willy-willy.
Yes, willy, willy, woo, woo. So, if booze makes us floppy, numb and confused, why do we think we are more sexy?
Alcohol increases dopamine and endorphins, the same feel-good chemicals linked to excitement and attraction. It also lowers our inhibitions, which means our social anxiety and self-doubt vanish ever so temporarily.
And let's be honest, it also lowers our standards a little bit. After a few pints, Haim, you'd probably flirt with a mop if it smelled at you. Am I right?
It's a nice idea. It's not that we're sexier when we drink, it's that we stop noticing how awful we're being. And yes, if a mop was to sort of batter its eyelashes,
Either. Mops
That's a good
don't
point,
have either, so it doesn't matter.
then I would think, sure.
Yeah, she has got a good figure. Yeah,
It's
skinny
sort of
with
that
nice
like
hair.
Kate Moss in the 90s kind of figure, you know, really when really skinny was the thing.
Yeah. I do think that line, Hamish, that we don't realise how awful we're being really makes me cringe, because I thought alcohol gave me kind of this sort of sexy glow, when in fact booze made it so I couldn't see or feel anything, especially my true desires. It's all a bit sordid. Kind of reminds me of zombies meeting for a disconnected one-night stand. A bit scary, I think.
Zombie sex a thing? It's not a porno that I've seen. Maybe you have.
Probably involves lots of nibbling on each other's ears and moaning highly.
So Listeners will be wondering, Vic, what, if any, is sober sex like now?
Oh, God, this is awkward, isn't it, Hamish? Well, let's say, in the nicest possible way, is not much swinging from chandeliers and back scratches or any unknown body boils or nefarious rashes. It's a bit more cosy than wild. Well, it is for me anyway. When you have 3 kids and a small house and the perimenopause, this is an important point, sex becomes a bit like an extra chore, one that you have to get out of the way so you don't have to think about it tomorrow.
Yes. For me, I would say I don't fall off the bed quite so much anymore, which must be some sort of progress. The desire for sex is still there, but having young kids around certainly means the energy for it is depleted. You know, like bedtime in our house can take hours. So after that, the idea of just having a shower and falling asleep in front of Stranger Things is far more appealing than getting Lizzie's lingerie on and dressing up like that naughty duckling that I talked about and getting it on.
Yeah, I did hear you mention a naughty duckling. I'm going to ask you about that.
I wanted to
end.
plant the seed
Okay?
naughty duckling because I thought it was a funny concept earlier. Then I've just revisited now as a callback. And I think I might just leave it unsaid.
Yes.
Because I like whatever it is you're picturing in your brain is exactly what I want you to be picturing in your brain.
Right, okay.
Is it real? Is it not? We leave it unsaid. Un certain je ne sais quoi avec le petit duckling. You know, it's nice. Le canard
la
petit.
canard de sex.
So anyway, yeah, basically watching TV and having a shower gets the vote over getting it on way more than I'd like to admit. And I think that is a combination of sobriety and parenting.
I feel that too. Yeah, it's like you just think, I can't
Which
be
is bad.
bothered. I just want to watch telly and go to sleep and drink tea and eat chocolate. I can't be asked. There's something that I have to mention here, Hamish, before we go on, that a few women might resonate with. I think sex is definitely about connection. And when you've drank 2 bottles of wine or a sambuca shot and then opened your nanny's port,
That does
that's not a
sound like your
euphemism.
underwear.
Don't open your nanny's.
Spread your nanny's port. Lie back and spread your nanny's port. Here comes Grandpa's whiskey.
Oh my God, that's so wrong. The only connection you'll make if you are hammered is probably with a toilet bowl. And I must say, without being crude, is that even though I avoid it a lot of the time, it does bring me some extra level of connection with my husband. But I'm certainly still getting over the awkwardness. I'm trying to find myself within this, if you know what I mean. It takes time to know who you are sexually when all you've ever done is been in a blackout when you've had it before. But this is the point I wanted to make, Hamish. I think a few women might resonate with me when I say I get into a no frame of mind. It's like my default setting. By the evening, I'm tired and it's the last thing I want to do. Then occasionally I have to mentally bring myself back round, which takes quite a lot of work to go, this won't be bad. Why are you thinking negatively about this? This is just a lovely thing that you do with your husband that's totally natural and gives you this lovely connection afterwards. And like, this is normal. And it takes me some time to talk myself into it, to get myself into a yes frame of mind. But it's not easy. And I think a lot of women out there definitely feel that. And when I talk to my mates about this topic, they feel that too. I have to try and change my mindset about sex a lot and go, okay, this is going to be fine, rather than just going, okay, I can't be
Let
asked.
me ask you a question, if this isn't too personal, because I feel the same way. I feel as if my default is a no. And then if you get yourself up for it, I actually then really enjoy it. And then afterwards, we should do this all the time. I don't want to do this more often.
Totally.
One of you is probably not going to be in the mood at the same time as the other one. And it just takes one of you to be like, all right, I'll just sort of get myself up for it if you're up for it. And then in the end, it's always great. So I don't know if people relate to that, but that's certainly how I feel. If you just get up for it.
And I totally relate to that. Yeah, it is. It's about a frame of mind, isn't it? And I certainly am better at having sex during the day or in the morning, but then that doesn't work. So my husband stays up later than me, so I'm usually asleep by the time he goes to bed. So that doesn't work. So there is a lot against you, isn't there? Like trying to work it out. And my son's bedroom is right next door to ours, and he's 13, coming up to 14. And the last thing I want to do is to wake him up with his parents having sex. It's kind of gross. And that certainly doesn't put me in the mood, knowing that my kids are in the house near me. So yeah, there has to be really very small pockets that are available to us during the day, which we both work. So that's even harder. And so, yeah, it becomes scarce, not because we don't want to do it so much, just because it's difficult.
I think for me, like I said earlier, it's more no than hell yes almost all of the time. Like, I used to think it was normal to have sex every night. Like, my last relationship, like, yeah, you're in your 20s, like, sex every night. We don't live with each other, so when you see each other, sex every night is sort of the norm. That is a distant memory now. Like, from a connection point of view, I think it feels like it should feel more significant and real now doing it sober. Particularly as if you have a history with your partner, you know, you've got kids together, and it's like there's more substance to the relationship rather than just like being drunk and getting it done. But I do sometimes miss the idea of let's both get wasted and have sloppy sex. You know, like, I do miss the fuck itness of that, and the immaturity of that, and the like naughtiness of that. Because that just doesn't really exist in sobriety, as far as I can tell. Not in my sobriety anyway. If you can access that, then you know, fair play to you.
We should give each other a sex challenge.
Oh my God,
Hamish.
we should not do that. I do not want to broadcast to listeners, many of whom we've never met, a live sex. And then we come back next week and report, you know, like compare notes.
No, I'm just, well,
it'd be fun it'd be fun for the listener.
Actually, yes.
But Jesus.
It would be fun. No, but what I'm saying is, like, to get this yes frame of mind pumping, as it were, I could say to you, right, Hamish, next week, you've got to try and have sex with your wife every night and see what happens. And then I want you to report back to me. But I'll say that and just
whatever happens, I'll just lie to you. From a connection point of view, there isn't much going on in drunk sex. Like, it feels great because you think I'm doing some crazy shit here, and like we're just wild, and like this is what it's all about. But probably deep down, not so much. So I think in sobriety, although sex certainly isn't as wild, it's certainly real. Like there's certainly more. I don't know if I'm even just saying this. Like, I feel like there is more authenticity there. It is more real. It does feel like the lights are on. There's still awkwardness. There's still like, it's like even more intimate than having sex drunk, right? So it's pretty intense, but there's certainly connection. And I think that's maybe the biggest difference. The connection is always there in sober sex, whereas drunk sex, it's sort of hiding somewhere in there, maybe. Like, you're there physically, but maybe not emotionally or spiritually.
I think there's a business here, Hamish. I think we can start some sober sex training weekends.
Orgies is what we call them. Sober sex training weekends. That is an orgy cult. Yeah. Don't try to slap a name on something that it's not. That's an orgy cult.
Oh, I can't imagine anything worse than doing that. Yeah, weird. The word yoni springs to mind. Yoni bathing or something like that. There's people who heat their vaginas up over crock pots, isn't there? I don't know quite what it does. Yeah, it's a thing. You go on away on a retreat and you sit over like I think it's like an air fryer. Probably got that wrong. Please don't do that. No, I think it's like a bit of boiling water that you sort of blow up your food.
I've never heard of that.
I think that's a thing. Yeah, it's like yoni cleansing.
Is that to then go and have sex, or is this a sort of...
I don't know.
Spiritual thing?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, nice.
Just for a laugh.
Okay.
I'll do that as my sex challenge this week.
Great.
Yeah. We did ask the cuppa community this week, very awkwardly, what's your experience been with booze and sex? Did it help or did it ruin it? And what is your sex life like now?
Okay, so here we got. So one lady said, it's utterly crap now. I don't get turned on. I don't feel anything at all sexually since being sober. I don't need sex as validation, so not going after it in an unhealthy way. So I guess that's great. And it is good because I'm not putting myself in danger. But I was also having enjoyable sex with partners with alcohol. So I find it hard with all the toxic positivity around being sober. And yes, there's so many ways being sober has improved my life. But around sex, no one really talks about how hard it is.
Yeah. Totally true. I thought we'd
Yeah.
better get both sides of the coin here, Hamish, because yes, I think a lot of people feel like we do. Someone else said, since having my kids and now being sober, I have zero interest in sex. I often wonder if it is indeed a basic need, as I can function fine without it. I talk to my husband all the time and we discuss if it's weird that we're not having that amount of intimacy. And she added, I'm 50, so I could be going through the menopause. Maybe the sex urges will return, but I'm not that worried about
Okay,
it.
another one said, okay, I could share a million stories about all the unhealthy, shameful, downright dangerous sexual encounters I've had whilst drunk. I mean, so many I can't even count or remember. It's so scary to think about the situations I've got myself into and the times I've apparently maybe said yes when I really meant no. However, instead I'm going to go simple. I've never been able to climax whilst inebriated. Maybe after one small drink, but even a large glass of wine, and nope, no orgasm. Sober orgasms are much easier to achieve. And she put 2 little dancing women emojis.
Somebody else said, I don't know how to do sex sober. My sobriety is more important to me, but it still sucks. No pun intended. To be fair, I think some of the decline has come with age, but I also know that I feel so inhibited now. I'm just not comfortable.
I think having a partner who puts you at ease and understands you might need a bit of time to get in the mood and might feel a bit awkward initially is the key. I think the actual sex is way better sober, much closer.
When they say they had sober sex wins hands down, does that mean they were doing
That's
it doggy
it, yeah.
style?
Yeah, some sort of, or maybe some sort of handcuff.
Yes, yes, hands down. I must say, Haim, it was mostly women that commented on this topic on Cuppa and on my women's group. And a lot of them had a very similar response, that menopause had a lot to do with their lack of interest in sex. And I do think men could probably just keep on shagging until the cows come home. But for me, it's a two-way street. So like if my husband does the washing up, for example, there's more of a chance that he's going to have some sex that night. Or if it's his birthday or if he's done something nice. I think men often don't realise that it's very small things that they have to do to make us feel like turned on by them. Like even just taking the bins out, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I quite fancy you now. And my love language is gifts. So if you buy me a present, not you personally, Hamish, I'm more likely to give in. What's your love language,
I was
Hamish? Do you
tempted
know?
to ask Liz that question, but I think I've got an idea of what mine is. I think mine is making coffee every morning, doing the extra work with the kids so that I can offer Liz some time by herself. Although she never takes that time because she gets FOMO, but it being an option is a love language that I try and use, if that's the right term. I think surprising her by ordering dinner on a night that I know neither of us can be asked to cook, and foot rubs. She loves nothing more than having her foot rubbed and her her shins rubbed specifically. So I occasionally will rub a foot and a shin.
Oh yeah, that's quite dull, isn't it? Can you'll rub somewhere else?
Maybe,
I think that's
maybe
the
I'm
point,
spending
isn't
too
it?
much time at the foot.
Yeah, or you're just going to rub her up the wrong way and you both go to bed separately. It seems lots of people struggle with this one. Sober, sexy time. Let's have a chat here about 10 ways to make your sober life less slobbery and more exciting in sobriety. I am taking notes. I'm not quite sure how we're going to take this on, but let's give it a go.
Just to be clear, this is you and I giving sex advice.
Yeah, so this is a top 10, which is actually
good.
just a top 4.
So here's the top tip, and it's not a particularly sexy one, but it is to schedule it in. Schedule sex. Now, before you roll your eyes, I want you to hear me out. Spontaneity is overrated at best, and especially when you've got kids, a mortgage, and a dodgy knee. So pop it in the calendar like a dentist appointment, only a little bit more moaning and a little bit less fluoride. Full transparency, I've actually not done this, and I don't even know where to start a conversation about scheduling sex with my wife. Like, it sounds far too awkward even for me, but this is something that people do, and it is something that works for people. So if you're braver than me, good luck, give it a go.
Okay, so that's your sex challenge, because you put everything in your diary. You spoke about it in the last episode about how you schedule anything and that means it gets done. This is a good one. I had fun writing these, Hamish, because they're bullshit, basically. Because I was thinking, like, what would happen to me if I could really like get in the mood? And I was trying to think of really helpful things that other people would do. And I thought, but I'm not actually going to do any of them. One of them is to create an ambience that's not Netflix or laundry. Okay, that does sound like a good idea. Nothing kills the mood like just a pile of washing next to you. What I'm saying is light a candle, put on some music, and don't watch a crime documentary. You want to seduce and not investigate. Do you know what I mean? You need to be in the moment and not distracted by something that's on the telly. But that's difficult when you're in the middle of a good series, isn't it, Haynes?
I'm in such a good series now, it's difficult. There's no way we turn it off. I think not having a TV in the bedroom is probably a good move for having sex.
Yes.
Try something new that doesn't require batteries is our next tip. I'm as confused as you are. Before you buy anything that needs charging, just try a new location, position, or conversation. Really, that's the key. We should be having conversations about this sort of stuff.
But why are we talking people out of sex toys?
I encourage it. Anyway, ask what they actually like. Revolutionary, I know. You might discover that what you've actually been overlooking each other's funny buttons for years.
Oh, I just find it really hard.
It doesn't come up.
Really hard.
You're talking about who's doing the packed lunch tomorrow, the laundry, Netflix, in-laws. You can't just then go, whoop, dildos, yes or no?
It just seems like such a change in vibe, doesn't it? From just the mundane, minutiae of life. And then to throw that in there is a bit like, right, so actually I like to be,
But that is to our
licking.
own detriment. Like, we should get through that. Sex is one of life's great joys, and we are only conning ourselves by avoiding the conversation.
Maybe it's just chapters like everything else, Hamish. Like, early days, like even if you're drinking or not drinking, maybe that's when you're more sexually free. And then when kids come along, that's the chapter and that's what's going on with you. And then maybe when the kids have left home, you kind of have more of a sexual revolution. Then I don't really know how it works, honestly, but I know for now, I just find it very difficult to talk about. And because I'm newly sober and because of everything that's gone on before, and because my sexual encounters as a drinker were not satisfying, and I definitely felt like often there wasn't consent, or I wasn't able to give consent. And there's lots of yuckiness around my sexual past. And it still feels yucky now because it makes me feel uncomfortable because I never really was able to know who I am sexually, I think. And I think that is a journey that I certainly do need to go on. I'm not quite sure where to start it and how it will end, probably with a flannel. But yeah, I do feel like I don't know who I am still with this. And I do feel like it's something I need to work on. And I can't believe I'm giving sex advice. I'm not. I'm just telling you how rubbish mine is. And how awkward I find it. It's very on brand, Haim. Remember, it's not a performance, it's a connection. When you're sober, you feel everything. The good, the awkward, the weird, giggly bits and everything else. Lean into it if you can. Sex might not be as wild as the old days, but it's real and it can be hilarious and it's 100% remembered in the morning. I think that's the point, isn't it? To try and embrace the awkwardness.
That's constantly the message, really, isn't it? Sober or not, embrace the awkwardness.
Yep.
So to wrap this up, sober sex might not come with neon lights and loud music, but it does come with clarity, connection, and lots of lovely, safe consent.
Yes. And it's not just better sex. It's real sex. I will say that. You remember it, you feel it, you laugh about it after, and you don't wake up feeling like you need a tetanus
Brewers Droop
shot.
may have been a funny term in your 20s, but let's be honest, nothing sexier than someone who's fully present in the now. Really rock hard. That's what we're after, men.
Thank you for that imagery, Hamish. I would actually just like a man who can actually find their way home after. That's all that's the level I'm at.
To recommend other podcasts, even though we have a podcast, I think it shows humility. So I'm going to recommend you listen to my friend Emma's podcast, which is called Sex Talks. On Spotify, it was like the podcast I listened to the most last year. It is fantastic. It covers this topic far better than you and I could ever do. And anyone who is struggling with connection sexually because they're newly sober should listen to it. Sex Talks.
Okay, thank you. Hamish, I just wanted to end today by all of that sordid information on a light note, because I had a lovely experience, which is I texted you about, which I never got round to telling you, which was I have a bad habit. This is almost as bad as a porn addiction, is that I spend a lot of time on realestate.com or Domain, those house websites, looking at houses I can't afford to
Liz
buy.
Is the same like this, yeah.
A lot of the time. And sometimes I go and see them, okay? Because I sort of live in a fantasy world where I think I can afford a really nice kind of farm or something inland. So the other day I was looking at this lovely old Queenslander and I thought, I wouldn't mind going to have a look at that. And I messaged the lady straight away on the website. My phone went 2 seconds later and I was like, bloody hell, you guys are quick. I'd love to come and see that house. You know, that's pretty quick off the mark to phone me straight away on a Sunday. And the lady on the other end of the phone just said, I could not believe it. I nearly fell off my chair. I didn't know you lived locally, Vic. She said, do you know how many lives you've saved? I was like, what? She was like, you saved my life. You and Hamish, I listen to you everywhere I go. You're on the beach walks with me. You're at the gym with me. You're at in the car with me. You guys have been with me. I am 2.5 years sober. I've got my life back. I've got my job back. I've got an amazing relationship. And it's all because of Sober Awkward. She said, I've been to rehab. I went to AA. I didn't know that that's what I needed, was just a podcast to get me sober. And here I am. And actually, I did go and look at the house and I met her yesterday and I had a lovely, lovely chat with her. Hello, Kess, if you're listening. It was lovely to meet you. So, yeah. And she said, don't you get calls like this all the time, Vic? I was like, no, I really don't. It's really lovely to hear from someone whose lives we've changed. Because often, you know what it's like, hey, we can feel like we're sort of shouting into the abyss sometimes and we don't really know who listens. And to get that feedback, it was so motivating and so lovely. I really appreciated it. So, yeah, there you go. And maybe our sex talk isn't as quite as informative as we'd like, but the sober stuff's good, I reckon.
That's lovely. Now, can I have 95% off the value of the house? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
Please can I have a discount?
Vic and Hamish talking about drinking, so time for listening, then for thinking. There'll be funnies, coughs, form and piss, so everybody listen to this.
If you're questioning your relationship with booze, you're struggling to moderate, or your hangovers are causing anxiety, it might be time to reach out for some support.
Yeah, just talk to a mate about how you're feeling, contact a local doctor, find an AA or sobriety group. Vic's got one.
Yeah, just head to www.cuppa.community.
Remember, if you're questioning yourself, it might be time to seek support.
Even though this journey can be awkward, it is definitely worth it. And if you've enjoyed the Sober Awkward podcast, don't forget to review it, rate it, and share it with your mates.
They have to share it with their mates?
Yeah, of course they do. I'm not doing this for nothing, Hamish. Bloody hell.
How do they share it?
I don't know, just write it on the document.
Give the sense of the season with Pura's Black Friday sale. Enjoy up to 30% off site-wide on curated gift sets, diffusers for home and car, and premium long-lasting single scents. Shop now at Pura.com for a limited time only.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Busy work weeks can leave you feeling drained. Prolon's 5-day fasting mimicking diet works at the cellular level to rejuvenate you from the inside out, providing real results that include fat-focused, sustainable weight loss with no injection needed. Next Gen builds on the original Prolon with 100% organic soups and teas, a richer taste, and ready-to-eat meals. Developed at USC's Longevity Institute and backed by top medical centers, Prolon supports biological age reduction, metabolic health, skin appearance, fat loss, and energy. Get 25% off plus a $40 bonus gift when you subscribe at prolonlife.com/start. That's prolonlife.com/start.
So, as you probably know, my comedy memoir, 1,000 Wasted Sundays, is officially out. All my magnificent fuck-uppery in one awkward hit. If you'd like to get your hands on a copy, it's now available from all good bookstores.
We always say all good bookstores, don't we?
Yeah.
Are there bad bookstores?
No, it's probably ones with moody sellers.
Oh yeah, really depressed librarian folk.
Yes,
okay,
yeah,
good.
yeah. So there are probably some, but we're only storing it in the good ones.
It's only made it into the goodies.
You can also get it from all good online retailers. The print version and ebook are out now, and the audiobook will be available in March. I've been writing my memoir for 5 years. It will make you laugh, cry and cringe, and hopefully inspire a few people to reconsider their relationship with booze. If you love the podcast, then I think you'll love the book, even if I do say so myself. Hamish has read it. What did you think?
I feel like I know a little bit too much about you now, to be honest, Vic. Look, I really loved it. It was hilarious and surprisingly moving, but I feel like I've seen you naked in a literary sense.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's worrying.
Yeah. From an emotional point of view, seriously, it wobbled my teeny weeny wooden heart, Vic.
Okay.
My teeny little wooden heart.
Well, his teeny little, his wooden heart is broken. Anyway, so if you do manage to get your filthy mitts on a copy, please do me a favour and head to goodreads.com and give me a review. Doing that will help me get it out there to those that need a bit of sober support. So there you have it. My story, unwanted warts and all. Come and get awkward with me.
Not to be too demanding or anything, but seriously, go and buy it now.
Yeah, go and buy it. Go and buy it right now.
Yeah, don't just tell your friends, buy it, and then buy your friends one or two.
Yeah, don't give them a copy, buy it. Yeah.
And you know what? Don't be careful where you store it. If you lose it, you can always buy another 5.
Buy another one.
Yeah.